when the right people come together.
You sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared Dubois, live for MLS Is Back. Here, doing it live the way we love to do it. We love to do it live.
You know what? The other thing I forgot I was going to try to remind you beforehand is make sure you say the right name of the show. And I was so happy when you pulled it off.
I've been thinking about it all day. It's not like I haven't been in my head practicing that intro. Like, of course I did.
You've been practicing it for 8 years.
It's been a little while. All right, let's set the scene before we do anything else. Let's tell people who we are for those who might not know, right? Let's remind people where we came from, where we've been, and what it means that we're here.
The intro said it. We're the best.
We're the best. The best soccer show. Back doing it under that banner. And I think, for people who have been partaking in the JD and the Rod version of the show for the last couple of months, you'll know that we relaunched. Jared and I got back together after a couple years off, right? It was a couple years.
At least 2 or so, right?
The original Best Soccer Show and JD and the Rod. And after figuring out that people actually did want us to do the show again, after putting out a survey, we got back at it. We brought the show back under a different name. Now we have some clout behind us, Jared. Now we got people who are backing us. We've got For Soccer Ventures and the Soccer Collective on top of everything else that's going on with us. And we've got the name back, and it's a new era. And what is it that we tell people? What's the truth about this show, and especially the U.S. men's national team? Because that's what people come here for.
That the U.S. national team never missed a World Cup when the Best Soccer Show was on the air. And maybe that's on us. I don't know. Maybe it's on us.
Right.
But we're here to make it right.
Absolutely. We should take responsibility for what happened in 2018. It's possible that because we ended the show, because we weren't doing the Best Soccer Show, that's what it is.
It's not like Jurgen Klinsmann canceled it. I think he deserves some of the ire. Maybe Bruce Arena. I don't know. But
okay. I definitely think Bruce Arena deserves some of it, but so does that man right there, Jurgen Klinsmann, the happy German.
You make it sound like that's a shot. That is not actually Jurgen Klinsmann in the audio clip.
No, of course. I think people know who that is. But that's what
I know, but you set it up like that was Klinsmann's voice.
Well, no, I set it up like this is a thing that we play when Jurgen Klinsmann gets mentioned on the show, and that's because that's Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about a chopper, and Jurgen Klinsmann
Commando
I believe it's Commando. Or maybe it's Predator. It might be Predator.
Oh, it might be Predator.
Okay.
There's a chopper in both of those.
Somebody will know. Somebody in the chat room will know, and we're live on YouTube right now. They'll know where that comes from. Now, what I was going to say is that Jurgen Klinsmann is famous for being a helicopter pilot. So that's where it's come on. Do I have to explain the joke?
You don't have to explain it to me. I'm just saying, you made it sound like that was his voice. It might be close. I haven't had intimate relations with either of these men to know how they sound or anything, but I just want to make people know that that's not Jurgen Klinsmann's voice, likely.
No. Like I said, we're live right now, which means that we're taking phone calls. And again, if you're an old school Best Soccer Show fan, a bestie, or you're just new to this, the thing that we do, the thing that we love doing is talking directly to soccer fans in this country. Yeah. So whether it's this game tonight, MLS is back in the final, Orlando and Portland, or if it's the U.S. men's national team, the U.S. women's national team, U.S. women's national team players going abroad.
A couple different things I want to know.
Okay.
If you're neutral, how do you feel about this tournament and the final? Are you into it? Does it mean anything? Obviously, it's nothing that you're passionate about if you're neutral.
What's the determiner for me here is whether or not you have blocked off time in your life because of the MLS is Back final. If you are not a fan of either Orlando or Portland, if you're you've told your significant other that you need to be sitting down to watch this game at 8:48 p.m. Eastern time is the kickoff.
Are you choosing this instead of The Bachelor? I don't know. Is The Bachelor on? I don't know. Is that a thing?
Is that a Tuesday night thing? I don't know.
I cut the cord a long time ago.
I thought you were a Bachelor fan. You're not a Bachelor fan?
No, I mean, I here's the thing about The Bachelor. It's one of those things that it was like Fortnite. Okay. I didn't play it for a really long time because I was worried how much I was going to like it. And I was right. And that's the thing about The Bachelor. If I just get one drop, I think I'm addicted.
Yeah, like so you have to be careful that you don't get pulled.
Yeah.
There are definitely things like that I'm staying away from. So yeah, soccer commands my life, and I would be that person. I mean, obviously, it's my job, right? I do a radio show. Jared, did
Wait,
you know?
you have a radio show?
Yeah, I have a radio show.
Oh.
So I do a radio show. I would be watching this game anyway. I would have to tell my wife, honey, this is work.
Brag.
I got to sit down. I got to watch this game. I got to pick apart the tactics of Oscar Brejan, Giovanni.
Wait, when you have that conversation and you're like, honey, I have a radio show. I have to watch this game. Does it go a step further where it's like, I need to watch it alone? Or is she allowed to be in the, like, do you need isolation when you watch this because it's for work?
Right. No, because unless I'm actually actively like doing player ratings or something, which I've been known to do in the past, I don't know if it's going to happen again for the U.S. men's national team. In which case, I have to get like something to write on a big board. I write out all the players. I'm making marks all over it during the game. I'm very focused on the match. If I'm not doing that, it's more like I'm just watching.
Oh, you have a board.
Well, I get a big piece of paper.
Big time.
You get a big piece of it's nothing like that. It's not official. I'm not writing up, I'm not doing it up on a whiteboard or anything like that. I just got a piece of paper in front of me while I watch the game intently. And I hate it, by the way.
So we said, if you got a call tonight, we want to know, as a neutral, how do you feel about Mls Is Back? We've buried the lead a bit. We've got Earnie Stewart on the show tonight, immediately following the game. For those of you guys that may not know, maybe you want to call in and give us some questions you want to ask. I mean, we have an agenda, don't get me wrong, but I'd like to know what your questions are.
Can we call him the Big E? Is that something we can do?
Big E.
Can we do that?
Big E.
Or Little E? No, I can't call him Little E, right?
No, Big E.
He's got to be Big E. Okay.
Oh, how about this? E with an A. Earn with an A.
Earn with an. Do you want to call him Earn with an A?
Oh, he earns it. That's how he spells it. Like he's Earnie, like he earns money.
Right. We don't just make money; we earn it.
I like that.
Yeah, we're workshopping.
What's up with the national team and all these extra letters? Like you got Greg with 2 G's, Earnie with an extra A.
Right. Maybe that's where Bruce Arena went wrong this time around. He needed an extra letter in there, like B Bruce or Arena or something like that.
Yeah, with an H at the end.
Arena with an H at the end.
Arena.
Or a silent H at the beginning, because in Spanish that would be Arena.
Harina.
Harina. You could spell it Harina, which is a completely different.
I've been looking for a way to get more Latinos in the national team.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. So we do have open phone lines. It's 717-727 BEST. It's real simple. Get yourself there and we will get you on the air. Let's go to our man Mike in Philadelphia. It feels right to have Mike be the first caller on the brand new Best.
We're never gonna hear the end of it now. You got to be
Best
first.
Doctor Show 2.0, and I have to do this for the man. And that is the man himself. Mike, what's up?
Hey, good to have our show back, huh?
Ooh, I like it.
Oh wow,
kidding.
ownership. He's got shares.
No, I can't claim anything. Congrats, guys. I'm glad name is back officially. So you mentioned watching this final as a neutral, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I think mainly because this is one of the few tournaments. I think I've watched at least part of every game throughout this entire process with Mls Is Back. So I'm sort of looking forward to the conclusion here. I think I'd probably watch it as a neutral anyway, sort of the way I watch like the Open Cup as a neutral. And I'm sure I'm obviously more hardcore than most people about MLS, but
Mike,
I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
As a Philly fan, is this penance? Is it like you have to watch it? Now, correct me if I'm wrong too, because I think I saw the stat. Are these the only two teams Philly lost to that are in the final right now?
That's right. I believe that's right.
We didn't lose to Orlando. We tied them.
Okay, so the only ones you didn't beat.
The only teams you didn't beat.
Yeah. The only two teams we didn't beat. But I mean, honestly, I'm over it already. I was really down about it last week. I'm over it. I'm just looking forward to a good game. I don't have a preference of who wins, but I just want to see some wild entertainment from MLS. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. It's sort of low key rooting for Oscar to win something. I think he's done a good job with Orlando.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you, and I got to, I'll get to other callers too, Mike. But I was going to ask you, wouldn't there be some jealousy that freaking Orlando has a trophy? I know it's a weird trophy, but a trophy before Philly does.
It's a pretty ugly trophy with that horrible name slapped on the side of it.
Well, you can fit at least a 40 of Mickey's in that thing.
You can put some alcohol in there for sure. Yeah, what would be,
So
obviously,
what's Orlando and Portland's drink of choice to put in those two? Like, if you're Orlando and you win, what's the Orlando drink of choice that goes in there?
if it's Orlando, it's like a Boilermaker or something. If it's Portland,
okay,
Well,
yeah, I know.
at the same time, though, right? So, like, Portland already has an MLS Cup. I don't want them stacking trophies up there either. So, I mean, it's 6-1, half dozen in the other. It doesn't really matter which one of them win to me. I don't really think that prestige matters much. And long term, I'm wondering what you guys maybe think, like, the legacy of this tournament's going to look like, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
I'm thinking sort of like mid-tier trophy, maybe slightly below Open Cup, but above
One-off
the
trophy?
manufactured Mexican competitions.
Well, like you said, Jared said it's a one-off. Mike, I'm going to let you go because I got to get to some other people. But Jared, you said it's a one-off. That's going to make it cuts both ways, right? It's a one-off, so it's like, ew, that doesn't mean anything. There's no history. They're not going to do it again. You can't defend it. But it's also like we're the only.
Okay, yeah. I mean, is there another thing in sports where they did something one time, and like, can you think of something else like that where it's just been a one-time thing that's a piece of hardware only one team ever has?
I'm sure there's some soccer tournament in the early days of international competition or something.
Was there more than one Superliga season?
I think there were a couple of Superliga seasons. Yeah, I think so. Let's go to another call from Philly. Philly represent. Jim from Philly is on the line. What's up, Jim?
Welcome back, guys, and happy for you guys to bring this iteration back. I just wanted to talk about the tournament as well. Basically, I want to see Orlando win it. I'm a little salty about the whole Portland thing. Plus, I live out here, so I would like to rub that in the faces of everybody. They rubbed it in my face the past week. But like you guys were saying though about the, will this tournament be remembered? It probably will. It doesn't mean anything in the long run. It really doesn't mean anything. It'll never happen again.
Hold on, though.
But, yeah.
You got Philly fans talking like it don't mean nothing when they didn't make the final. Is there little sour grapes there?
If you had made the final,
No.
you'd be crying.
No. There's sour grapes there, but hear me out. It's like a obscure trophy that only the Union would be capable of winning or losing. Realistically, I don't see us winning an MLS Cup, so that's why the Philly fans were so butthurt about the whole situation. But in the long run, it doesn't mean anything. The only thing that's going to come out of this tournament is we're going to lose Aronson and McKenzie, and that's basically it.
All right. Well, all right. By the way, thanks for calling, Jim. Jim from Philly, who's repping Philly but lives in Oregon. We know that about Jim. And just you're right. There's some sour grapes there. So there's some salt.
We didn't ask him if he was going for Portland or not. That would have been an interesting thing if that was his second. Second choice.
I think he said he was going for Orlando because when he talks to Portland fans, they rub the MLS Cup in his face. And by the way, that's a good point from Chris Murphy in the chat. 6 in a row finals with a Cascadia team between Seattle and Portland. And obviously, MLS is back is not an MLS Cup tournament, Jared, but that's still pretty remarkable that 6 years.
How many of those are Vancouver?
Why would you even I know.
I just want to check. I want to fact check this.
I probably don't have a ton of Vancouver listeners.
Freddie in the chat from Orlando says they're drinking Orange Crush cocktail. Is that a thing? Do people put vodka with Orange Crush, and that's a thing in Orlando? I would have thought like Dole Whip, like from Disney World or something.
Is there an alcoholic version of Dole Whip? I've never had a Dole Whip.
Ooh, man, rum's got to be the right drink for Dole Whip, right?
If there's rum in the drink, I might trend towards the Orlando choice because
we asked the Puerto Rican downstairs if that's an appropriate. That seems like a very Puerto Rico drink.
Yeah, she might be into that. She might be into putting some rum in a Dole Whip. I was gonna say if Portland's got to be like some craft beer, right? Like that's the only way to go for Portland. It's got to be like lumberjack ale or something poured in there, right? I'm sure there's some very good craft breweries in Portland. I'm not trying to slate on that.
I'm assuming John's saying fishbowl. Is that one of those drinks where you get it and it's like 5 straws, 4 umbrellas, and some dry ice, and everyone's like a COVID cocktail where everyone's using it the same straws?
That's what Alex Morgan and her friends were drinking in Orlando that one time. That's probably.
Oh, really? Did I miss the inside joke there? My bad.
Well, there's some history. It goes back a little ways, but there's some history there. Okay. There's some Orlando.
I would drink one. I ain't too proud.
In that incident, they got kicked out of a Disney bar. You don't remember that story?
No, I don't know anything about that.
I can't believe you didn't know that. You're gonna have to look that up. Lots of blue curacao, says John.
Yeah, and Pullman Punk says rum, especially coconut rum. That is the right choice, I think. I'm not usually a fan of the coconut rum. I think that's the 22-year-old's rum of choice.
By the way, I don't know how thick on the ground the Puerto Rican community is in Orlando. I know there's some. I don't know how deep it runs. If you want to go really hard, you go and talk to a Puerto Rican about Pitoro, which is basically Puerto Rican moonshine. And they do a coconut version and a tamarind version, and they do it is.
We can go down this road too. We got 15 minutes before the kickoff. If you want to call in with your club's drink of choice that they would drink out of there as well, I'd be down to hear that. Like, what's the Dallas one? Like, what's the Austin's got to be some kind of weird craft brew that they do down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of places is gonna be a craft brew of some kind.
LA's would probably be like tequila and squirt.
Is that a thing that they do?
You've never had tequila and squirt?
I've never.
That's a real thing, dude.
In Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
This is Los Angeles. I need more than talent. I need stars.
That is
Enjoy the party.
absolutely wild.
Tequila and squirt is low key one of the best drinks you're ever gonna have, dude. You got to try that if you haven't done it.
Well, once I can travel again and we can be reunited as
What, they don't have squirt out there?
I don't know if I've seen a squirt in years. I'm aware of squirt. I just don't know if it's like in the mellow yellow range, right? Is it in that kind of
Yeah,
area?
be careful. You don't want to like miss your mouth or anything when you drink it.
Don't know what that means.
I know you're saying squirt a lot. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Is that the first instance of when I should be dropping that on you? I don't even know. Did you make
sure right now
an innuendo that I wasn't aware of?
Connor says in the chat from Utah, our drink of choice is Diet Coke.
Yeah, okay. Well, and Mike from Philly.
Is that he has to be caffeine free Diet Coke right now if you're in Utah. It's got to be caffeine free.
How does that? I don't know how that works. I don't want to get into the blue laws of Utah, but Mike in Philly is saying that I think he's saying for Philly it's a PBR and a shot of whiskey, which I could go for.
I've heard of that. There's a name for that. I don't know what it is, but I've had that as well.
A Philadelphian. I think it's.
But I'm letting you, the rest of you guys know. If you don't live on the West Coast, I'm letting you right now. Go for that tequila and squirt. Your life's gonna be changed forever.
Okay, 717-727-2378. We are talking MLS is back. We're talking about this game. We're obviously setting you up for the post-game show, which is going to be a little bit of recap on the match, but Earnie Stewart's coming by, and we're going to be talking to Earnie about the state of the national team, men and women. I think both of those. What's a citywide special? A bunch of people are talking about a citywide special. Is that what that? I've
never heard. Is that the name of the thing you just said?
That's the name of it. Now I have a new favorite combination of drinks. If it's PBR and a shot of whiskey, and that's a citywide special, color me interested. I'm in.
That's a great name for a drink too, by the way.
It is. I mean, a citywide special could be literally anything. It could be a sexual move. It could be. It could be a move on an ice figure skating that I don't know about. Oh, he just did a wonderful citywide special. Give him a 5.0.
Like, it sounds like some kind of plate of chili that Nick would order.
It also sounds. I was going to say it sounds like something you would do on the course in Frisbee golf. It sounds like
citywide special. I mean, that'd be like if you skipped to the hole, like you skipped up, like maybe you skipped as like a skip ace or something like that. Citywide special.
Like maybe you get enough curl that your puck, is it called a puck?
Curl. First of all, it's not called curl. It's called turn. And second of all, it's not called a puck. It's a disc. You know that you.
When the puck curls and like hits the back of the net thingy, maybe that's called a citywide special.
You hurt me so much. Listen, I literally have my brand new 2 disc almost within arm range right here. If you want to see them, I got them.
Oh, that's the sound of Jared banging chains right there. And that is nothing you need to worry about with the kids around. Just banging some chains left and right.
Sometimes you got to bang chains, man.
All right, 717-727. BEST.
I got someone authorizing my tequila and squirt. Brendan Murphy saying tequila and squirt absolutely legit.
Oh no, I'm. It sounds very intriguing. I'm very rarely partaking tequila that's not in a margarita form. So if you find another version for me to drink some tequila, and I'm imagining you're not wasting the good stuff. Like you're not putting Patron in there, right? Patron Silver or something.
Why? You do your dirt tequila when you're mixing stuff.
Well, I mean, that actually scares me as an older person whose brain does not handle a hangover quite as well as it used to. Like, shouldn't you be a little bit more cognizant of the quality of the...
See, how do you not know what gives you hangovers? Sugar gives you hangovers, dude, not the quality of your drink.
Okay, well, I'm drinking whiskey all the time and I don't get hangovers. So
That's
and
why
I noticed
you're not mixing it with like
well, I'm
like
not mixing it with
pepper or anything.
squirt for sure. I'm not putting mellow yellow in my whiskey. What?
Oh, we should say we do have starting lineup. So as we took a look at them before we kicked off right here. Jason, what was your take when you looked at both of these? Anything surprise you when you looked at both of these?
No, there's no surprises there. I don't think there's anything that you would look at this and go, oh, one of these managers is
the Jimmy Chara exclusion. I didn't know he was injured so much that he couldn't even make the bench. That was surprising to me, but maybe I just missed that leading up to the game. Other than that, we were a little bit wondering if it's truly a 4-4-2 on Orlando's side or not. That's what they're listing it as.
So MLS, they listed it that way. MLS soccer.com has it as a 4-2-3-1 with Akindele as a lone striker. But we know he's going to slide all over the place, play off the back shoulder. Nani's going to be close to the goal. They have him listed as a winger. And really, if you think about the way Orlando plays, they want to get him isolated out there on the left 1v1. So
the way this is made is Akindele and Nani can both shift either one out to the wings, and it can be filled in by Muller or Pereira coming in from the outside. So it's going to be inside out kind of thing where all four of them are going to rotate in the attacking third, but Akindele and Nani are not going to be said to be doing any defensive work at all.
All right, so I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about Portland's lineup. I just want to throw this in. Brendan is saying that citywide special in Philadelphia dive bars, a shot of whiskey and a beer sold together at a discount price, most commonly a can of Pabst Blue Ribbon and a shot of Jim Beam for $3 to $5. $3 to $5? Holy crap, let's go to Philadelphia.
Dude, in LA, that thing would cost you like $13.
Oh, absolutely. In DC, that's a $12, $15 situation.
At some point, PBR here went from like the $2 drink of choice to like the $8 beer because it got fancy. You remember, did you go to the bumpy pitch party? Did you go to the one with me where they had is all Pabst Blue Ribbon? That's all they had on trays they were serving?
Unless that was the one where it was like incredibly dark and I couldn't actually see anybody.
I think it was the year before you came out.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
PBR is definitely the hipster beer of choice out here for a couple of years. Not so much anymore. Now it's anything with hops.
Dude, I like the way you did that. Can you do that again? One more time.
Anything with hops.
Hops. Okay. Portland's lineup, Jared. Again, I don't think there's any surprises here. There was
speaking of hops.
The slight chance that Savarese would leave Valeri out. He's done it a couple of times in the knockout rounds, maybe saving his legs for the second half. But you could argue that was specifically so if they got to the final, he would have the legs for at least an hour in this match. And here he is lined up in the hole just like you expect him to be.
You're not going to use Diego Valeri in a final cup game. I mean, unless he can't go. I mean, even if it's 60 minutes, you're going to. And plus, you got to have all three man buns on the field at once. You can't be down to two man buns.
Do we have a name for that yet? Because we got to work that out. Because
triple bun?
I know there's a tri-bun. Ooh, tri-bun. Tri-bun?
Try a little harder with those buns, huh?
Because I know a three people who are in a relationship is called a throuple, right?
Oh.
Is there a way to get there? Can we throw
a bumple? A bumple?
I don't know. We got to take some suggestions on that as well. You guys are hooking us up with the citywide special definitions. Figure out what to call the three man buns. By the way,
here's what I was thinking earlier today. We put our takes on who we thought was going to win this game, and you went with Orlando. I went with Portland, and here's why. Yeah, if you consider Nani, and I said this in there, if you consider Nani and Blanco a wash, and I do right now, those two the hottest players, definitely the only two players and candidates for player of the tournament. Yeah,
so hot right now.
Yeah, like Hansel. But after that, after Nani, you got Muller. I no slack on Muller, but behind Blanco, you have Bobase, you have Valeri. You got Diego Chara like manning the midfield, who's looked like he's found the fountain of youth over this tournament, by the way, as well. I just think that they have a lot more weapons. I think Orlando on the counter can beat Portland. I'm not sure otherwise, though. I think they got to hit him on the counter.
Okay, so you're falling in for the sexy. You're just attracted to Portland's.
I just said they're man buns, dude. They're not that sexy.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about the man buns. I'm talking about the attack prowess. You're saying that between Obobase, Valeri, Blanco, obviously Chiraz, the guy who makes it happen, recovers the ball and has obviously the incredible defensive chops. You're saying that that's sexier than what Orlando brings to the table with Nani and Chris Mueller, who's been very good, and Pereira, who's come to the fore.
I think Mueller's very good in the early rounds. I think he's fallen off a little bit, but just for me, sneaky, one of the best players who's having one of the most understated tournaments is Uriel Rosell. Rosell, I think, has had a very good tournament, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. For me, when I watch it, he's doing so much of the work on the ball, winning the ball, tracking the ball. I think he does a lot of The things that people just don't pay him a lot of attention to or give him a lot of credit for. Keep your eye on him tonight. If he has a really good game, that's going to be a really cool matchup between him and Chara to see who can kind of put their stamp on the midfield defensively.
Well, and that allows Jackson Martinez to be a little bit more effective for Orlando and get all over the field. And really, that's sort of been the key. I mean, look, Orlando's doing a lot of good things right now under Oscar Perea, and we certainly respect that dude and what he is. But if you want to make an argument for why these two teams are successful, outside of that little finishing touch and the sexiness that you were talking about, it is that work that's done in deep midfield. As you can call them defensive midfielders, you can call them holding mids if you want. I don't care. Uri Rosell, Diego Chara, right? The
other matchup for me, the other matchups could be interesting is the Loria and Ron matchup. The right back for Orlando. Yeah, Juan. Mulan?
I don't think you roll the R. It's not Mulan. It's definitely not
Ruan, whatever. Roll on, like the deodorant. Roll on. So I think he's had a great tournament at right back for them. So it'd be interesting to see. Excuse me, left back for them. And
he's right back.
No, right back. Excuse me. Yeah. So he'll match up against Loria and Villafania as well.
And Jean Martino's been very good too. And he scored the goal against LAFC to get them to penalty kicks so they could get to this game without him. And actually,
can we just not have a penalty shootout tonight? I mean, we got Ernie Stewart on the line.
Pray to the soccer gods, you and me together, please, dear soccer gods.
Ernie with an E is already. Ernie with an A is already doing a lot of work for us coming down at 11 o'clock at night tonight. Can we just not have a shootout?
Got to get Big E on the show at a decent.
Who's going to pay for this?
Everybody's got to get to bed. I mean, that's what I think I'm remembering. I mean, I'm realizing here as time passes, we're all just we're exhausted from the pandemic. Jared, we want to get to bed. Let's crown a champion in regular time. Let's figure this out. Well, if that's going to be the case, and I picked Orlando because I'm calling them a team of destiny. You're picking Portland because you like their counterattacking ability. What's the score line? I mean, that's something to talk about here. Is this a 2-1?
Steve Clarkson goal. So I mean, it could be anything.
Does that mean? I feel like that. I feel like that's me.
You think that he's been his normal Steve Clark self in this tournament?
I think he's been error prone. Is the nice way to say it.
It's been interesting too. Like there's one game it was just really bad. But even since then, a couple things you would punch away are just he's
a horror show.
There it is.
Knocking down in front of him. They're bouncing. It's just some weird things. I think he's got a little bit of lack of confidence there, and I think he's got a little bit of the yips. Bit of the yips.
By the way, we are clear. We're sure that just like the rest of the knockout stages of this tournament, there is no extra time, right? Straight to PK.
Yeah, you get paid to talk about this for a living. You tell me.
I mean, this thing is so.
You tell me you got a radio show and you don't know the answer to that question.
Do I have a radio show? Wait, I do have a radio show. I forgot
Big
about
J,
that.
Man. They're showing clips of Steve Clark right now in Portland Timbers. Those are good saves. But
okay, well, he's capable of good saves. Galace's been very good too, as well in this tournament, by the way, and that's a massive upgrade for Orlando. I mean, they have struggled sort of to find their guy. They've had some good performances over the years, but nothing consistent. So maybe he's the man. And if it does come down to PKs, who are you picking? Steve Clark has a PK save in this tournament. I think Galace has a miss against him with LAFC, but not a save.
Man, if it goes to penalty kicks, I may actually take. I'll still take Portland. I think they've got good talent to take the PKs. I would take Portland. Any team that hits the pole twice in one shot a couple years ago during a shootout, they're due for some luck.
That was Sporting Kansas City
against Portland, though.
Yeah, against Portland. So you're saying Portland has the luck on their side? Yeah. Okay. So the soccer gods like the Portland Timbers, right?
That's what I'm saying. And also, shout out real quick. We haven't said this enough. I mean, we alluded to it for shortly, and we're going to get out here in just a moment. But Oscar Perea, I mean, that's the real story of this tournament that we're not talking about as much as we should be. Dude just walks in to one of the worst teams in the league and puts them in the final of the tournament. Playing decent ball, too. Yeah, it's not like they bunkered their way here or anything like that.
Yeah, they've gotten some luck on their side for sure, but you have to give the dude credit, and he's a very good coach. I think the battle of coaches is interesting. You got a Colombian on one side, a Venezuelan on the other. The Venezuelan is the kind of guy that jumps up and down and screams and goes crazy. The Colombian is more like, oh, that's interesting. Let me write that down.
Brazil versus Argentina and the DPs.
Yeah, you have to do Brazil versus Argentina in the DP situation. No,
Portugal. I'm sorry. I apologize. He speaks Portuguese. I was thinking Brazilian. My bad.
Same language, completely different country. but yeah, you do have the two South Americans in the leadership positions for these clubs, and that's going to be interesting to see how they respond to one another. And 5 substitutes, right? So there's a chance to change the game pretty dramatically.
I mean, if you're going to shootouts, I mean, who's on your bench you're going to call? I mean, you got Andy Polo on the bench for Portland. Has been one of the key difference makers.
Let's imagine that it's 1-1, something like that, going into the 65th, 70th minute, and you're Giovanni Savarese. Do you take Valeri off the field because maybe his legs are going and you can go find another goal, or do you play it out because you need him?
I think when you have Andy Polo on the bench, you do, because what Andy Polo has shown is that if he has the ball 25 yards out, the has to step to him. They have to step to him. He's been too good from that range creating. So, I mean, you're asking if you're the back four to commit in the last 30 minutes to anything 25 yards out. That's a lot of work for Russell as well. If he's going to have to try to find where Andy Polo is as he cuts in from the outside into the middle.
All right. Score predictions, and then we're getting out of here. Game kicking off in just a couple minutes, and we'll be back for the post-game show. Jared, what do you got?
I got 2-1 Portland.
2-1 Portland. I'll take it 2-1 Orlando. 2-1 Orlando. It's going to be a good game, I think, hopefully. And again, reminder, come back right here on YouTube, live, post-game show, talking to Earnie Stewart of U.S. Soccer. So good to be back, Jared. So good to be back. All right. We'll talk to you guys after the game. See you then. Bye.
Danger zone! Damn, dog, that's in a pro. Damn, dog.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
The horror show.
And or hello.
Oh, it's incredible.
Michael freaking Oscar Fischel.
Oh, baby. Who asked those questions?
Oh, would you look at that? An absolute firecracker.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Jay Rodius.